Dan Karcher back here at Security Service Field, opening day 2015, and a new era of Sky Sox baseball begins tonight as the Sky Sox begin an affiliation with the Milwaukee Brewers. And it's my pleasure to introduce the new manager for the Sky Sox, a guy that I've known for many, many years. It is Rick Sweet, who's been around this game for a long time. And Sweetie, welcome to town. What are your thoughts on the Brewers' move from Nashville to Colorado Springs?
Well, we're very excited to be here, quite frankly. We've been in Nashville for 10 years. You know how bad that place was. We've actually been, having finally gotten here and getting settled in the last 2 or 3 days, it's been fun. You know, it's a beautiful city. We've had good weather. It's a heck of a lot worse a lot of other places right now. And we're excited to be here. I think for the Brewers, it's, okay, this is going to be interesting. And I think we're definitely coming in with open eyes and looking forward to the affiliation.
8 of the first 12 games are against Nashville, oddly enough, the city where you guys used to play. Any extra incentive for you guys in those 8 games?
I think probably maybe for the staff more than the players, because if you look at the players, there's probably only 25% of these guys were in Nashville last year. We've got a kind of a changeover in our ball club. So I would say the added incentive may be up in Milwaukee because we really didn't want to leave, especially after playing in that hole for 10 years. But that's long gone. We really haven't thought much about it or talked much about it for quite a while. We're an organization that's more of a forward thinking, preparing, and that's kind of what we do.
You go from a pitcher's ballpark in Nashville to more of an offensive-minded ballpark here in the Springs. What kind of challenges does that present for you?
Well, when we say it's more of an offensive, the numbers dictate that. But quite frankly, it's easy to pitch in this ballpark. The way the wind howls here, the way the field is set up, you've got half a field to pitch to. I mean, if you can't learn to pitch to half of a plate or half of a field, because if you hit the ball to right field, the way it's been here the last few years that I've been coming in here and the way the weather's been the last few days, Babe Ruth wouldn't hit a ball out of this ballpark to right field. So, we kind of take the high side again. We think that this will be a good challenge for our organization. Remember, we play in a ballpark in Milwaukee that is very conducive to home runs also, a lot like the numbers indicate here. So we're not worried about that. If guys can pitch here, then we know they can pitch in the big leagues. That's what we stress with our players.
That's good to hear. Rick Sweet, my guest, Sky Sox manager on opening night 2015. And Rick, you've been managing a long time, 25 years now in the minor leagues, one of the all-time winningest managers actively in minor league history. And you've been in the Coast League with Tucson and Portland, and now you're here in the Springs after coming from Nashville. For those of the fans that haven't seen you before, haven't watched your teams, what can they expect from a Rick Sweet managed ball club?
I think aggressive. I like to run the bases. I like to swing the bats. We'll swing 3-0. I think players need to test themselves. They need to try their limits, and the only way to do that is to go out and make attempts and go after it. You may see some mistakes early in the year, especially maybe defensively, getting used to the ballpark and getting used to the winds. But I don't get on them. I allow them to go out and make mistakes. We've got a lot of new players this year, like I talked about, some young players from AA, some players from other organizations. They need to find out about me. They need to see that they can trust the fact that they can go out and test themselves and test their limits. So I think we'll be exciting. I think we'll run the bases aggressively. We'll swing the bats. Our pitchers will be aggressive with the ball. Will be a fun club to watch. I really like this club. I've been doing this a long time. I don't know, maybe 15 years here at AAA at this level. And overall, from top to bottom, 1 to 25, offense, defense, pitching, the most solid ball club I've had. Now, that doesn't always transmit into wins, but that's my job to make it go into wins.
What would you say would be your biggest concern heading into the season here tonight?
I would probably have to say, I'm not 100% sure how good our starting pitching is going to be. We've got two veteran guys. We've got two young guys. We've got a guy last year in Youngman who is opening up tonight. The second half of the year last year, he was my horse. He was the guy that we went to, and he pitched very well for us. Addington and Eli, both are veteran guys. They've had success at the major league level, but they're at the end of their career. They're guys looking to get that one more shot at the big leagues. So you're never quite sure what you're going to get. You expect them to do well, but they still need to go out and produce. And then the two young guys, Gagno and Cravey. I'm very excited about them. Cravey, I think, will do very well here. He's a sinker slider guy, hard power sinker. Gagno has good stuff, but we just got to get consistent stuff out of him. So that'll be interesting. So if I have one area that I'd say not 100% sure how good it's going to be, I think it's good, but how good it's going to be, we don't know yet.
Visiting with Rick Sweet, Sky Sox manager here at Security Service Field before the season opener here in 2015 between the Sky Sox and Nashville. We've talked about this many times in the past, and I remember talking to you last year about it when you were managing Nashville. The big challenge here at AAA for a manager is trying to reconcile the objectives of winning and development. Where do you stand on that issue?
I develop winners. The two words go together. I think, and we as an organization, it's not just Rick Sweet. We, the Milwaukee Brewers, firmly believe that at the AAA level, we want to develop winners. We want guys, when Ron Renicky calls me and says, I need this, one of the things that are going to be talked about is this guy, does he produce in crucial situations? Is he a guy that wants to win? Is he a guy that will go out and do what it takes to win a ball game? Well, the only way that can happen is if you talk about it and work on it and stress it. We do that as an organization at the AAA level. We want our players to do things that produce winning ball clubs, and that's our philosophy. And for me, it's always been that way. I think you develop winners. I don't want a loser. I've seen a lot of ball players that put up very good numbers, but they never won. We all like winners. That's the American way, is to be a winner, and that's what the Milwaukee Brewers do.
Well, it's your second year in the Brewers organization. You've spent a lot of time with other teams during the course of your career, but how would you say it's going for you so far with Milwaukee?
Oh, it's been great. I knew a lot of people with the Brewers before I came over. I spent 9 years with Cincinnati. It was tough to leave Cincinnati. All those players in the big leagues, Votto, Bruce, Cueto, all came through me. In Louisville, the 7 years I managed there, it was tough to leave there, but I needed to get away. I wanted to go back and manage. I wasn't managing over there, and I wanted to manage again. The Brewers came up. I knew their philosophy. I knew what their thought process was. I'm very excited to be here, and it's been a fun 2 years. I'm really looking forward to this year. I think working with Gord Ash, which is the assistant general manager, he's the guy I work with on a daily basis, which is different than most clubs. I deal directly with the major league people. Has been fun. It's very enlightening.
As we said before, and this will be my last question, one of the all-time winningest active managers in the minor leagues. How does that make you feel?
Old? No.
Set you up for that one.
It's been fun. I go back and look, and sometimes I have players call me, or I'll see a player, and I have to think, okay, I know you played for me, but it could have been 25 years ago, 30 years ago that they played for me. There are guys all over. They pop in. I still get messages 10, 12 years from guys that have been out of the game. Hey, sweetie, I saw your name pop up, or I see you're still managing here. It makes me feel good to see that. As a player, I got to play in the big leagues. I've coached in the big leagues. Obviously, I'd like to manage in the big leagues, but I care more for these players out here in this clubhouse than I do for my career. I want to get as many of these guys to the big leagues. The more guys I get to the big leagues, the better clubhouse I'm going to have, because if they know they produce here, they play the game the right way here, and they get a call to the big leagues, those other guys are going to say, I want to be the next guy, and they're going to play even harder. That's how it works. I want guys out of here because the other guys will work that much harder. So I love what I do. I mean, I've been 42 years in professional baseball. I've never had to work a day in my life. I have fun every day. I put the uniform on, and I have fun with these players. You know, as we get older, you know, the game changes. It's not good or bad. The game just changes. Either you change with the game and change with the times, or you become old and they kick you out and throw you away. So far, I've escaped that.
Well, listen, we're ecstatic to have you here and looking forward to working with you. All the best.
It's going to be a fun year, and it's nice to be with you. We've always worked on the other sides. We've had great communication. It's always fun to see you with your smile, but it's going to be fun to spend the year together.
All right, that's Rick Sweet, Sky Sox manager. More to come on Sky Sox Warmup from Security Service Field on this opening night right after this.